Hello, this is a video by myself, David, on meditation. So it's a short presentation. We've got a course coming up soon on the 28th of June, 21 days of guided meditation. So that's hosted by myself. And this is just a little bit for people who might want to come on that course, or maybe something else in future, or just generally you want to know about meditation. So the course and this video is definitely for people who are beginners, people who've never done meditation before and got some idea of the benefits of it and that they'd like some of that for themselves, but really don't know where to begin or how to do it or what to do. So this will definitely help you. It's also for people who've maybe tried meditation before and maybe they're confused with the amount of different kind of practices and struggle to get going, or they struggle to make it work for them, not sure if they're doing the right thing. Again, I can break it down to something a little bit more simple and I can guide you through, um, whether it's the 21 days or on a future session or a future course, and hopefully take away some of that confusion for you. It's also for people who might even be experienced. You might have done a lot of meditation before, you might have had some good practice going. Maybe you're in a position where you felt like you want to come back to it, and now you do want to come back to it. But maybe you don't know, you've lost the habit or you've lost the connection to it or something. So it'll definitely help with that, this video and the 21-day course, re-establishing you with your practice, re-establishing with you with what meditation is for you and what you can get from it. You probably had some benefits from it before. So if you want to get that off the ground again and you want to make a little commitment to really get the habit started again, then yeah, this is for you. Okay, so I'm going to get some slides on the screen and we're going to get going with this introduction to meditation. Okay, so quite simply, could just leave it at one slide. It relieves stress and suffering. It usually is the reason why people come into meditation. There's some aspect of stress or discomfort or suffering. People generally want to feel better, and that could be from something mild to just, they want a bit more relaxation, to some people could really be suffering from severe stress and maybe illness and would like the benefits of meditation. But that usually is what meditation helps with. Okay, so as well as that, just the general thing of helping with stress and suffering, there are other benefits. So we have an increased clarity of mind through meditation and less brain fog. So when our mind isn't clear and there's confusion, and we usually are not making the decisions we know are right for us, we usually are not living life the way we want to because things are just confusing, because the mind is not clear. Meditation helps with that. Clarity of mind helps with a whole host of other things. Let's say before, the increased calm that comes from meditation. I think everyone generally wants to be a bit more calmer, and meditation does do that. Gives us a peaceful attitude. It increases mental strength and concentration, especially with some of the stuff that really focuses on specific things. So it definitely improves all that, which can then be applied in other areas. So we have greater control and acceptance of emotions and emotional states. Some of the meditation practices allow us to be able to sit through and work with and process emotions and states of being without reacting to them. And then we can then take that into our life as well. And situations when we're not meditating can be easier to deal with. And then, of course, what follows from that is better relations with other people. If we're more stable and more emotionally stable, relations all around are better. And of course, we have a better understanding of ourselves. So self-knowledge is a fantastic thing. I'm sure self-knowledge, knowledge of ourselves, we all kind of know that if we're wanting to change behavior or stop behavior or improve behaviors in certain areas or progress in certain things, then self-knowledge is a massive part of that. Okay. Okay, so the reason why we're going with this, why I think it's difficult. So it's just basically kicking off the, um, from the stress theme, because it's like, okay, why exactly are we in this mess? Why is our life stressful? Why are we finding it difficult? Why are we even feeling like we need to meditate? I think we've all got a lot in common, especially in a westernized society. Okay, so look, I think we all have trouble with whatever job we're in and the stresses of that, and whether it's deadlines or people dealing with public, or maybe we're looking for a job and there's the stress of that, or we haven't got a job and all the stresses that come from that. And then, of course, largely related to that is the money. Have we got enough money? Have we got any money to pay bills and debts and afford things like holidays and that little bit of time where we can relax? Um, and then there's the kids. Are the kids okay? Are they provided for? Are they happy? All the stresses and strains and mental discomfort that comes from them and their experiences. Um, and then we've got our own health, our own maintenance. We have our ailments and illnesses, and we try to do the best we can to manage our health, and it all affects everything else. And then there's all the chores and buying of food, and all the time it takes cooking food for everyone, and the time that we've got left from work and other things. We're trying to eat the right things, and all the extra mental stuff that comes from all of that. And then we've got emotions of friends, family, and partners, and taking on of other people's problems. As if it's not enough for ourselves and everything we've got going on. There's everybody else in our life, and how all their stuff affects us. So all that's contributing as well. And then even worse than that, around other people, is maybe this conflict, all the stress and the mental energy that's wasted on or used up even on the conflict with others and trying to resolve things and have a peaceful life. And then there's people who get sick in the family, and looking after all the family members, making sure we have time for them, making sure that they're getting the right treatment. And then there's all the materials and things that we need to buy for ourselves, and keeping up with the Joneses, and we've got the right clothes and furniture and all that. And then at the end of it, if we've got any time for ourselves, maybe there's no time. So this is what we're all dealing with. So no one's different there. I mean, it's probably a different combination for everyone. But look, that's a lot for us to be dealing with. So this is why we get stressed. So it's not unusual to be stressed or in a position where you feel like you need more relaxation and calm, or whatever it is you think you're going to get from meditation. But centering on stress again, um, I think it's important to highlight how it can affect us. So splitting it into two there, the body and mind. Obviously, the body stuff is tangible. It's stuff we can touch or see and really relate to easily. Whereas the mind, it's the more subtle things, and that's where it can get interested. And the two are obviously related. But okay, so how does stress affect us? And you'll see why I'm making this division in a few slides later. So stress affects our energy generally. So the energy we've got to cope and do things and achieve things and get things done and all that is affected by stress. Even simple things like headaches, migraines, whatever, resulting from stress. Digestive issues is a massive one from stress. The digestive system, in order to digest properly and get the right nutrients and process food and for the stomach and everything in it to be working properly, it needs not be in a stressed state. That's the opposite state for food to be digested. Okay, so all of the stuff that comes from issues in this area with the lower organs in the torso, you generally find that stress is in amongst all that. Okay, aches, pains, tense muscles. It's simple, isn't it? When we're stressed and we're tense and all the muscles are primed and ready for action, sometimes without even knowing it. This is where our aches and pains come from. That's why we go for massages. Sleep is massively affected by stress, insomnia, is a huge thing. And obviously sleep is where we get our energy, where we get we have the one place where we can actually get our rest. Sometimes it's not happening because we can't sleep because we're too disturbed. Immune system's massively affected by stress, so we're more prone to colds, infections, anything like that. The immune system just doesn't work as good with when you've got them stress chemicals floating around everywhere, inhibiting it. Loss of sexual desire, in your relationship, your romantic relationship, it suffers when there's stress, and if we're not relaxed and centered and peaceful, that's we're not in the right mindset for encouraging and developing those kind of relations. So even stuff like nervousness and the physical discomfort of nervous, the sweating and the shaking and just the general discomfort of from that side of stuff, again, all stress related. And then even worse conditions relating to the immune system, chronic pain, illness and disease, again, all down to definitely related to stress. Okay, and then the how we can perceive it in the mind is feelings of being overwhelmed, powerless, lacking control. So all of those things together, we've all probably had it, just that state of not being able to enjoy life, live life, make the right decisions, guide our life in the right direction, and how that is a state of mind which is just not very nice at all. And when we're in that stressed state, it's hard to actually get the mindset to stop from the worries and the concerns or the emotions to actually be able to relax. Again, it's a state of mind. And all of that is pushed forward and fueled by this disturbance in thought, the busyness of thought, the speed of thought. We notice when you relax, like thoughts like are slower. We're not relaxed. This busy, disturbed mindset, it's a mental stress. How we relate to ourselves in terms of esteem is all affected by stress and worries and concerns and doubting ourselves and stuff like that. And then the really terrible, much more intense aspects of stress in the mind and what it results in: depression, loneliness. Even these are the things that are causing suicide. But it's all mental stress. It's all the things that are happening in the mind. All of this leads into how we relate to others, and we start to isolate and avoid other people, and then our network gets smaller and communities get smaller and we feel separate. Again, it's all stuff that's going on just in the mind. And mood swings, erratic or severe or unpleasant moods. Um, it's our moods are deregulated when we're in this stressful state. Okay, now it's not just all about stress, but the reason why I'm focusing on that will become clear. But most stress starts or ends in the mind. Okay, and let's explore that a bit further. So we can have a mental stress just on its own, a worry or a concern about something that just comes in and that's it, and our mind's off and we're disturbed. Sometimes that mental stress can lead to physical illness, like we've showed before. Okay, but let's just say we're in a cool, calm, relaxed state, or unfazed, and then there's something physical, an illness or an injury or something external that's happened. It's those things happened, we then interpret and then become negative emotions or stress or mental stress. So what I'm trying to show is that, yeah, there's a relationship between body and the mind, but this stressful thing, this state of mind we really don't want. It's all start or ends in the mind. Okay. So just to underline it there, stress is in the mind. Okay. And this is why meditation is important. Meditation looks after your mind. at the root or end of all your problems. Okay, so meditation is the ointment we can apply to resolve not just emotional stuff, the physical stuff that comes with that as well, as we've seen, comes from the the mental difficulties that we have. So the mind is the number one pit stop. That's where we've got to go to first to resolve a lot of all these problems. Okay, and that's what meditation is. It goes directly to the cause of everything. Okay, so as I've said, stress, worry, and anxiety exist in the mind, but more importantly, a lot of the time it's in relation to things not actually happening now. And this is where some aspects of meditation start to come into effect. So let's check that statement out, okay? Thinking of a stressful situation. I'm sure you've all got your own and you can think of some in your own time. I'll give you one mine just as an example, okay? So I do some dog walking. Sometimes I've got 6 dogs at once. They all start barking, or some of them do. Some of them get a bit agitated, jittery, starting to pull, wanting to run away, run on the lead, and it's difficult. Stress. Oh my God, are the dogs going to get off the lead? Is one of them going to run away? Is it going to end up in the road? Is it going to get run over? Is it going to run over and bite someone? Is it going to go and attack another dog? We're going to be running around the park, all this mess to have to deal with. And what are them people thinking of me because these dogs are barking, and they probably think there's something, probably thinking bad things of me. So, but if you notice, all of that is not actually happening. The stress, as this says here, is either in the past, that's another thing about stuff that has happened that we're worried about or concerned about, or in this case, the future. So mental disturbance is related to when we're thinking about what might happen, as I've just said, in them situations. So all that's really happening in that situation is there's some dogs and they're making some noise. Okay, they're making some noise and they're causing some physical exertion of me as I try to hold them when they try to run or whatever. All of that other stuff is stuff, possible stuff that could happen in the future. So that's what I mean by that statement. So this so the stress and mental disturbance, this thing we're trying to sort out, it's when we inspect it, it's not actually here and now. So this is why meditation is important, because meditation shows us how to access the state of mind which isn't thinking about the stuff that's happened that's bothering us, or the stuff that might happen that's going to be all this mess we've got to deal with, or how we're going to feel. Okay? Which is, we'll call it the conditioned or habitual mind. So we're going to start replacing stress now with the conditioned or the habitual mind. It's the conditioned or the habitual mind that runs off into all these places internally about what might happen, and got to deal with this problem, and this might happen, and that. So that's the kind of mind where all of the problems live. Meditation takes us into a state of mind that's free from that, from the conditioned or the habitual mind. Okay, because there's never usually, it takes us into the present moment, and there's never usually any identifiable stress in the present moment. Okay, it's just what we make of the situation. So as Tara Brach calls it, meditation is the training of mental attention that awakens us beyond the conditioned mind and habitual thinking. Okay, so we get beyond all of that mess, all of our discomfort with meditation. So the people who are coming to meditation for the first time, this is what I really love about you, because you're saying, okay, I've got, like, I'm struggling here, I'm suffering, whether it's mild or intense or whatever. You're choosing to take some responsibility about the way that you feel, but you don't yet know how. This is what meditation is. This is the action that you can take to be able to take responsibility for your mental state. This is the thing that gets there, that can sort it out. And in that sense, it's a means of transforming your mind and your life. So there's loads of different styles of meditation, and this is where people might have got a bit confused. People have tried to do it, or they might be wondering what we're going to be doing on this course or future courses. I do different forms of meditation for myself and for other people. I do some more advanced stuff in Chinese Qigong and and stuff like that. But what I'm going to do is just going to break down what meditation actually is, just from an informative point of view. Okay, so you've got stuff like what we call natural presence, which is, just trying to be in the present moment. So letting go of all that mental chatter and opting to simply experience the present moment as it is. Okay, so it's just a simple practice of trying to be really just mindful, paying attention without the mind running off, which it does, of course it does, but it's a simple practice, and that's where you get like a lot of Zen Buddhism, and what's now called mindfulness. It's a Western term which has lots of similarities, but it's based on that. So then you've got breathing. So there's varying breathing techniques that induce states of calm or presence. Quite a few different ones. Lots of different meditations use different aspects of breathing. Some meditations are just entirely a way of breathing properly. So Kundalini yoga, a lot of their practice is just about breathing, but they achieve different mental states through those mental practices, usually ones of calm or just more aliveness. So you can mix and match with the breathing, but we will do a bit of the breathing in 21 days because it is important. Okay, then you've got stuff like body scan. So moving conscious awareness around the body parts. So your conscious awareness is usually fixed on something, and it might be darting off here, there and everywhere, but your conscious focused awareness is fixed on something. If we can direct that conscious awareness to just body parts and maybe going in a certain order, what we get from that is, a sense of relaxation and peace as those body parts, they start to relax of their own accord when we focus our attention on them. And it's a way of calming the mind as well, having the focus of the mind on something. Okay, and you get a lot of this in yoga and in the Chinese practices, especially Qigong. So you've got stuff like mantra, which is just simply repeating a simple, small phrase, usually in foreign language, because these techniques and methods came from countries in the East and have been going for thousands of years. But it's a small phrase that you're given, and you just simply repeat it over and over. And the point of that, again, is focusing the mind. So the mind is just drawn to the phrase over and over, over and over. So everything else that's in the mind, all of the disturbance and the random nature and getting drawn off into this thought stream and that thought stream, over the period of time, you're just focusing, and the mind starts to get into that state, that deeper state of natural awareness. So this is used in transcendental meditation, made popular by a lot of celebrities at the minute, and also Hare Krishna, amongst others. So speaking of focus, you've got other ways of focusing the mind, okay, focusing on objects. So some people focus on physical objects, maybe it's a picture of a saintly figure or symbol in a lot of religious meditation. You've got focus on physical sensations. So one of the most powerful meditations I know of is just the focusing on the sensation of air passing in and out the nostrils as you breathe in and you breathe out. And the same with the abdomen, So if you breathe properly, you're breathing in and out, the abdomen rises and falls. Simply paying attention to that, those feelings of the abdomen or air through the sinuses, that's a way of meditating. It's focusing the attention on something specific. Okay, you can focus on an image in the mind, an image that means something to you or something you want to attain to or has high significance for you. Or you can focus on emotional qualities like compassion or gratitude. Now, these are some of the most powerful meditations you can possibly do, especially compassion or love and kindness, which is a lot of Tibetan Buddhism meditation. But even gratitude now, it's made its way into mainstream, if you like. And there's lots of studies and research done on people just doing even just small amounts of gratitude or appreciation every day for a certain amount of time. Feel happier. 90% plus of people who focus on gratitude, things that they can be grateful for, calmer mind, happy, happier generally. Um, yeah, so that speaks for itself. Okay, then you've got visualization. That's a form of meditation. So it's using the mind to imagine things like the cessation of suffering. Maybe it's for yourself, other people. Maybe it's to do with you've got this abundance mindset that's come in the last couple of decades with films like The Secret and manifesting into existence or objects or materials or situations that you desire, lifestyles that you desire, relationships, whatever it might be. So visualizations, it's that's also a form of meditation. It's a lot more generalized. Okay, so what meditation isn't? And this is important to know because this is what can be off-putting for some people. So it's not religious. It can be. Some religions use meditation and prayer, and a lot of the meditation styles and techniques have come from some religions. But if you want to learn those techniques, you don't have to necessarily adopt the whole religion, um, the way people dress in that religion or anything like that. Meditation can just be about the practice, and as I say, there's many different forms of it. Okay, it's not hypnosis. It's not putting yourself into a state of mind that maybe you haven't got a lot of control over, to, I don't know, change your behavior or find something from the distant past you've forgotten about. And if you think it's hypnosis, then you've every right to be concerned. If that's what's being off-putting, then yeah, I would imagine that's it's not without merit, but it's not hypnosis. Okay, in meditation, you're the one in control. You're the one in control of your practice. Um, you can take it where you want to take it. Okay, so yeah, there's different states of mind, but it's not in the same way as hypnosis. It's not relaxation. You can get feelings of relaxation from a lot of the different meditations. One of the effects is relaxation, and I know that's what a lot of people will be coming to this 21 days or future courses for. People just want to feel relaxed and not so stressed or not so done in by the pressures and strains of modern life, and that's fine, and that definitely is what's on offer and it's attainable. But relaxation isn't always the goal, and it's not always what will happen from meditating. Some of the good things from meditation come from, say, meditation and being in that state of mind can allow you to notice what you're really feeling and thinking, stuff that you might have been suppressing, which is making you ill, harmful emotions, harmful thoughts. And sometimes those emotions and thoughts become available to see, and it's not so comfortable. Okay, but it's part of the process of this self-knowledge of knowing what's going on. And if meditation, if done properly, can be a place where you can deal with those harmful or uncomfortable thoughts or emotions and you can process them. But there's certainly no relaxation in that aspect of it. although that is one of the good things that we can get from meditation. Okay, so it's not a cult and it's not all that weird stuff. So we do have a funny way of looking at meditation, and I think it's based on we don't understand the mind. We're starting to get glimpses of the fact that okay, there's this thing mental health now. So we're starting to understand that people get sick, people kill themselves. There's all kinds of harm going on because people aren't well in their mind, but we don't understand it. We don't profess to, and I think our culture is one of we don't understand it, put it to one side, and it's kind of not important. And if we someone wants us to get us to have a look at it, it's like, oh, that weird thing that we don't understand, or we've only seen in the form of people wearing robes and saying funny words. Yeah, so we have a strange relationship to some things that we don't understand, but it's not all that weird stuff. It's technology for spiritual matters, technology for the internal workings of you, technology and techniques for for your mind. And we've already established that your mind is the root and the end of all the problems. And we can go further into that in other ways, in other videos maybe. But if we can say, okay, yeah, I can see that the mind is where the problems are. All meditation is. It's just how we start to understand and help the mind. Okay, so that's all it is. Meditation or mindfulness. This is where some people are getting confused. Mindfulness is a Western term as it starts to become more acceptable. Okay, meditation and its techniques have been coming to the Europe, UK, America since 50s, 60s, 70s, and people from the East have either been coming over and showing us, or people from the West have been going, picking it up and bringing it back. Um, but calling it the word meditation and the connotations of that is what's been a bit off-putting or confusing for some people. Now we've got something called mindfulness, which is a more westernized way of understanding it. Okay, because the Eastern culture around meditation can be the stumbling block. So mindfulness, you can actually study mindfulness in university now. Bangor University is one of them in Wales, and we've got mindfulness-based stress reduction courses. So John Kabat-Zinn, oops, who I'm pointing to there at the bottom of the screen, he's the founder of that, and one of the founders of the term, I believe, mindfulness, and it's one that we've become familiar with, and it's again paying attention in a particular way on purpose in the present, and most importantly, non-judgmentally. So those words, non-judgmentally, really important to the practice of meditation and mindfulness, because what our mind is doing in that conditioned or habitual mindset we spoke of, it's continually latching on to external events, people, objects, places, things, whatever, and it's judging them. It's making a story about them. We're either saying it's good or it's bad in some way based on does it help, aid, please us or not. So it's like, oh, there's a thing. Oh, I don't like that. Or oh, what's that person doing? I don't like them. Or oh, they're good, isn't he? Oh, that's a good thing. Oh yeah, what's that thing? And it's this the habitual mindset judges and categorizes everything. Okay, puts a stamp of approval or disapproval on everything, and that's the barrier to becoming actually present. Present, we've established, is the state of mind we want to be in to come away from mental disturbance. Okay, so being mindful and non-judgmental is a way of being passive to what's going on around us, what we can see, hear, interact with. Being judgmental or in the habitual mind is actively putting our stamp on things, categorizing. Okay, so mindfulness and much of meditation is passive experience of the present moment. So that's all that we've got for the presentation. I thank everyone for listening and holding out until now. I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone on the course, which starts on June the 28th, 21 days of guided meditation. It's going to be at 7 in the morning. If there's any changes to that, maybe 7:30, I will tell everyone individually, but as it stands now, it's 7 a.m. It's not going to be for long. This is for beginners. This is for people to just start the habit again. So sometimes, especially in the early days, 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, it's going to be time for feedback. I want to know how everyone's doing with it. I want your experiences of the meditation, and I want to be able to help and assist you with your practice. Okay. Sometimes there'll be time for a longer meditation, 30 minutes, and we might go, from 7 to 7:45 if people can make it. Hopefully they can. You don't have to do the 21 days. I don't like saying that. I want you to do the 21 days. They say it takes 21 days to form the habit. But if you can only dip in and out, it's better than nothing. But I'd really love you to give yourself that challenge, set that goal for yourself to do the 21 days. I promise you, there's nothing to lose, is there? What are you going to lose? A couple of extra Zeds in the morning, but you'll be getting all the calm of meditation to make up for that. Okay. So this is, you can find information about all this and all the updates in my Mind Over Matter page on Facebook. So I've got the page and the group. I'm on Facebook personally, David Barnacle, and I'm on Instagram, as it says. But I can change that. So there's going to be regular updates from now until June the 28th. I'm going to be posting in the event discussion. So that's on Facebook. So please come to the page, Mind Over Matter. Like the page. Have a look at the event. It's called 21 Days Guided Meditation. That's there to be found. And you can see some updates. Please get in touch with me. If somehow you're not got any social media or anything, this video is going to be available to view on YouTube, on the Mind Over Matter YouTube channel. Okay, so looking forward to seeing you all and getting all this started, and looking forward to everybody experiencing at least some of the positives of a meditation practice. Okay, so see everyone then.